The arena lights dim, the crowd roars, sneakers squeak on the hardwood, the shot clock ticks down. For decades, the NBA has stood as a symbol of athletic brilliance, a stage where competition, glory, and legacy converge. But behind the glamour, beneath the roar of the fans, another game was being played. A game of secrets, money, and betrayal. One that threatened not just the outcome of matches, but the very soul of basketball itself. This is the real truth of NBA betting corruption, the indictments, when the game turned criminal. On October 23, 2025, the basketball world was rocked to its core. Federal prosecutors, in a joint operation with the FBI, unsealed a 78-page indictment detailing one of the largest sports corruption scandals in modern American history. 34 individuals were charged: players, coaches, gamblers, and alleged members of organized crime syndicates. The scheme stretched across 11 U.S. states, weaving together casino rooms, online betting servers, and locker room whispers. Among those named, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups. Two names no one expected to hear in a federal courtroom. The accusations were explosive. Authorities alleged that Rozier and Billups had participated in two overlapping operations, one centered around rigged poker games linked to mafia networks, and another involving insider betting, where confidential NBA information was being traded like currency in a digital underworld of sports wagering. In other words, the integrity of the game was for sale. The insider betting web. The first operation, the insider betting network, was sophisticated and deeply entrenched. According to court documents, a small circle of NBA players and coaches had allegedly begun sharing internal team information with select gamblers. These weren't just casual tips or locker room gossip. They were strategic, precise leaks. Details about injuries, player minutes, rotations, and coaching decisions that the public would never know before tip-off. In one example detailed by prosecutors, Terry Rozier allegedly told a close associate that he planned to exit a March 2023 game early due to an ongoing knee issue. Within minutes, bets began flooding online sportsbooks, all wagering that Rozier would fall short of his performance averages that night. When he left the court in the second quarter, the bets hit big, and the people behind them made hundreds of thousands of dollars in a matter of hours. It wasn't an isolated incident. Investigators traced similar betting patterns around multiple games and players, identifying a pattern of unusual wager activity flagged by at least 3 major betting platforms. It seemed a handful of insiders were turning locker room intel into financial weapons. The poker ring, a game of shadows. While the betting scheme focused on exploiting the system from within, the second operation relied solely on deception. At the heart of this was Chauncey Billups, the respected coach and former Finals MVP, now accused of being part of an underground poker network stretching from Miami to Las Vegas to Manhattan. Federal agents described it as a casino-style ring rigged from the inside out. Games took place in private rooms under the illusion of high-stakes fairness, but in reality, they were manipulated. Loaded decks, marked cards, and hidden cues exchanged between certain players. Victims, often wealthy investors or celebrities, were defrauded of millions of dollars before they even realized the odds were fixed. And behind these games, prosecutors allege, were organized crime families using the poker tables to launder money and recruit new insiders into their gambling operations. One agent described the scheme as Wall Street meets The Sopranos, where legitimate success and criminal opportunity blurred into one dangerous ecosystem. For Billups, who had spent decades earning respect as both player and coach, the allegations struck at the heart of his reputation. The idea that a man once trusted to mentor young athletes could be tied to such a dark underworld left fans and officials stunned. The NBA's response: crisis in motion. Within hours of the indictments, the NBA launched into damage control mode. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups were placed on immediate administrative leave pending internal investigation. Commissioner Adam Silver released a brief but firm statement emphasizing that the integrity of our league is non-negotiable. Behind the scenes, the league's legal and security teams began working overtime, tracing phone logs, financial records, and internal communications. Since 2018, when the U.S. legalized sports wagering in many states, the league had eagerly aligned itself with major sportsbooks, signing multi-million-dollar sponsorships and integrating live betting data feeds directly into broadcasts. Now, that once celebrated revenue stream had become a moral minefield. Could the NBA continue to profit from betting while investigating one of the biggest betting scandals in its history? A fragile relationship with gambling. The NBA's relationship with sports betting has always walked a tightrope. For decades, the league vowed never again. But the rise of legalized betting reopened old wounds. Suddenly, gambling wasn't something done in smoky back rooms. It was an app on your phone, a banner in the arena, a line on every broadcast. For fans, every missed shot or suspicious call could now be viewed through a new lens, one tinted by doubt and distrust. The fallout. Beyond the court, sponsors began quietly reviewing their contracts. Networks debated whether to continue airing segments sponsored by betting firms during NBA broadcasts. And within the players' union, a wave of anxiety spread. If a few players could compromise the league's integrity, every player's reputation was at risk. For Rozier, the stakes couldn't be higher. He faces multiple felony counts, including wire fraud, insider trading, and conspiracy to commit gambling offenses. Legal experts predict that if the case proceeds to trial, it will become one of the most high-profile sports corruption cases since the 1919 Black Sox scandal. The Justice Department has also hinted that more indictments could follow, meaning other players, officials, or even league employees might soon be implicated. In the court of public opinion, though, the damage is already done. The NBA's image, once defined by competition, community, and global growth, now faces a credibility crisis. The bigger picture, the price of trust. Sports, at their core, are built on a simple idea: fairness. Fans invest not just money, but emotion, believing that what they see on the court is real, that every point, every foul, every buzzer beater comes from genuine effort, not from a text message or a secret bet placed the night before. When that illusion shatters, the consequences ripple far beyond a single game. The NBA has always prided itself on transparency. It's about the collision of money, influence, and temptation in a league worth tens of billions of dollars. It's about how the same system that sells excitement and entertainment can quietly invite danger. And it's about what happens when the lines between passion and profit blur beyond recognition. In the end, this scandal isn't simply about betting, it's about belief. Belief that what unfolds on the court is real. Belief that talent and teamwork still matter more than odds and algorithms. Sports is more than entertainment. It's built on trust. And when that trust breaks, the game itself begins to fall apart. For the NBA, the message is painfully clear. If the foundation cracks, the structure will not hold. This is Sports Crime Stories, where the game meets the crime. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because behind every score, there's always another story waiting to be told.